Here's your General Hospital recap on what happened in Port Charles today, Wednesday, September 10th, 2025. Trina and Kai were at Bad Gen Cafe when Kai got a call about Drew being awake. They were relieved Drew hadn't died, but Trina worried he'd be able to recall them being at the house. Kai assured her that Drew was unconscious by the time they went into his living room, but told Trina he'd go visit him at the hospital to be sure he didn't know they were there. Kai felt he could better protect them if Drew continued to think he was on his side. Later, after he left, Emma came in to get a drink. She could tell something was wrong with Trina when she talked to her, but Trina said she was fine. Emma got her a peppermint chamomile and said it looked like she could use a nice, soothing tea and a friend. Trina told Emma her parents' marriage was in trouble because her mom changed Heather Weber's test results to keep her in prison, and Drew was blackmailing her with it. Emma said Portia was just trying to protect her because Heather had killed a lot of people. Trina was worried she'd make the situation worse for her parents, but Emma said she wouldn't and reminded her that only her parents could make themselves happy. At the hospital, Lucas and Elizabeth weren't looking forward to the police questioning everyone regarding Drew's shooting. He sensed Elizabeth had some info about who did it. She said the night of the shooting, she heard Carly threaten to kill Drew when they were arguing in her office. Lucas laughed it off and said Carly threatened to kill a lot of people when she's mad, but never actually did it. Elizabeth wasn't convinced, but said she wasn't going to voluntarily report it unless the police asked her, in which case she wouldn't have a choice. In Drew's room, he told Curtis he planned to accuse Michael of the shooting. He went on to admit he didn't see who shot him, but did remember Curtis threatening to kill him, and, for all he knew, it was Curtis who shot him. As Curtis looked at the hanging medicine bags, he reminded Drew that he was once in his position. He recounted being groggy and weak when he recovered, and advised Drew to be sure his head was clear before he said something he'd regret. After Drew remarked that he was seeing things really clearly, Curtis said he should then understand exactly how vulnerable he was. "Someone tried to kill you," he said. "Who's to say that they won't come back and finish the job?" Lucas came in to update Drew and answer questions. Before leaving, Curtis told Drew not to rush his recovery because he wouldn't want to invite a setback. Lucas briefed Drew on the surgery and let him know there could be possible effects from the second bullet. After completing a quick check of reflexes and movement, Lucas said there were no signs of paralysis. He also let Drew know how thankful he should be to Dr. Robinson because she pulled off a miracle. Drew said it was a miracle she didn't let him die. Lucas defended Portia, as well as reminded Drew that Carly and Michael were his family before he left. Chase went to the hospital to see Drew, but ran into Willow first. They talked about Drew, as he was trying to convince Willow she had options besides getting back together with Drew. Chase saw Curtis coming out of the elevator. Chase wanted to question Curtis in the hallway, but Curtis said he couldn't help him right now. He tried to convince Curtis that he was only putting off the inevitable and would eventually have to come to the station to answer questions anyway. Curtis said he would go willingly with his lawyer when that time came. Curtis' refusal made Chase more suspicious. Isaiah came to see Portia in her office. He congratulated her on the work she and Lucas did to keep Drew alive, but Portia said part of her wished she'd stayed in bed with him. She was glad the surgery went well, but said it was hard to feel good about saving Drew's life. After Isaiah sang her praises about being a wonderful doctor, she said she also wished she'd stayed in the bed with him because, as wonderful as it was, it could never happen again. Portia apologized, but said her life was extremely complicated right now and she didn't want to do anything to hurt Trina. Neither of them wanted the other to feel taken advantage of and agreed to keep it between them. Isaiah let her know the door was open if she changed her mind. She thanked him for being so understanding and for being there for her. Kai visited Drew, who was happy to see him because he wanted Kai to bring him the contents of his home safe. Kai said he couldn't do that because Drew's house was a crime scene that no one was allowed in, so Drew asked him for another favor. Elizabeth had bad news for Willow. She said she'd received an email from Rick about being on a digital detox retreat, and it was unclear when he was going to be back. Elizabeth tried to get Willow to focus on her work and what a reliable, stable mother she was, but Willow said it wouldn't be enough against Michael and all of his resources. She said as much as she hated Drew, She would need him by her side to get her kids back. Kai interrupted to let Willow know Drew was asking to see her. Michael went with Dante to the PCPD for questioning. In Anna's office, Michael said he was waiting for Diane when Marco arrived and said that Diane sent him in her place. Caught off guard, Michael asked for a moment to confer with his counsel. In the hallway, Marco told Michael that Diane was already representing Alexis and therefore couldn't represent him too. Marco acknowledged their father's conflict and said he understood if he felt more comfortable with another attorney. Michael said he trusted Marco's judgment and wanted to go ahead and get the questioning over with. Michael began detailing his timeline for the night of the shooting. Anna asked what prompted him to leave his office. He said he'd gotten a call from his father regarding the death of Judge Heron. Marco looked away suspiciously. Michael went on to say he went to the Port Charles Grill to decompress and gave Jacinda Bracken's name as someone who could corroborate that he was there. Anna asked if Michael knew Jacinda was the escort caught with Drew earlier in the year. He said he knew now, but not at the time. She seemed to find it suspicious that he was with Jacinda again today when Dante found him. When Michael said he went home from the restaurant, Anna asked if he'd made any other stops in between. He lied and said no, but flashed back to angrily getting in his car in the pouring rain. Dante brought up Drew's accusation that Michael may have shot him. Michael said it was no secret he despised Drew, but he didn't shoot him. When Anna brought up his alleged assault of Drew at the Metro Court, Marco intervened. He asked to see a copy of the complaint, but Anna said there wasn't one. He then reminded her there wasn't one because no one, including Drew's lawyer, would corroborate his story. Anna told Michael he was free to go for now. After Michael and Marco left, they went to the Port Charles Grill. Dante and Anna discussed Michael's answers. Dante felt they were reasonable, but was bothered by Jacinda. He felt Michael could have paid her to be his alibi. Anna said they would have to bring her in for questioning. Brennan asked Nina to meet with him at the Port Charles Grill. Nina snarkily asked if his girlfriend knew he was having dinner with her sworn enemy. He said Carly had no reason to believe he was being disloyal or consorting with the enemy, and the meeting was strictly business. As Brennan worked toward his pitch to ask Nina for help with getting Charlotte to meet with Valentine, she stopped him and said, "Let me clear. I am not going to lure this poor child onto a plane bound for Switzerland, especially against her mother's wishes." He told Nina she misunderstood him, and everything was going to be above board. When Nina asked how she factored in, Brennan asked her to work on Lulu to get her on board. She said Lulu wouldn't be receptive at anything she had to say and suggested he ask Carly. She also didn't like him using Charlotte as a pawn and refused to risk anything bad happening to her. Brennan then dangled the prospect that Nina and Willow would need help if they were seen as suspects in Drew's shooting. He proposed a mutually beneficial friendship where she would help him with Charlotte now, and the WSB would return the favor when she and her daughter were in need. At Lulu's house, she asked Carly to come over and talk about her meeting with Brennan. She told Carly that her super spy boyfriend wanted Charlotte to visit Valentine at Steinmauer. Carly completely understood how Lulu felt, but then asked what Charlotte wanted. Lulu said Charlotte didn't know, and she didn't plan on telling her. Carly was sympathetic, but also knew Charlotte had to be missing her dad. Lulu talked about how hard missing Valentine had been on Charlotte and how she barely came out of her room for a while. Charlotte was just now starting to adjust to life in Port Charles, and Lulu was afraid that seeing Valentine would reopen old wounds. She didn't want Charlotte to go back to being depressed and in her room all of the time. Carly agreed that what Lulu feared was possible, but also felt it was possible that seeing Valentine would bring Charlotte some peace and might help her to feel her dad was okay. Carly said it was worth considering for Charlotte's sake. Lulu wanted to put a wall between Valentine's life of danger and the life Charlotte was building. Already feeling she was in a tug-of-war with Liesl, Lulu was frustrated at the potential to be in one with Valentine as well, especially if it was just because Jack Brennan needed a favor. Lulu felt like it would be opening a door that should remain closed, but Carly reminded her that Valentine was going to be in Steinmauer for the rest of his life. Carly strongly encouraged Lulu to let Charlotte choose for herself because, otherwise, she would likely resent her big time. Lulu conceded that everything Carly said made sense, But, as Charlotte's mom, she felt the best thing for her would be to leave the past in the past and focus on the life she had now. She couldn't see any good coming out of seeing Valentine and said no one could convince her otherwise. Hello, everyone! Welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Here are your General Hospital spoilers for Thursday, September 11th, 2025. Port Charles is stunned by a shocking return on Thursday, so it looks like Jason gets Britt safely home, along with Jocelyn and Vaughn. Jason only told a few people that he was sure he saw Britt in that French airport, but Anna was the only person who believed him and sent him to the Five Poppies to rescue her. Jason did just that and rescued Jocelyn along the way as well. Does Britt just waltz into the hospital as if she never left? Will she go see her mother first? Liesel will be beside herself with joy to see her precious Britta, but Jason still has questions. Unfortunately, he is stonewalled. Jason still has no idea how Britt managed to survive and what she was doing at the Five Poppies all this time. And neither do we. Will we all get answers soon? When Dante is caught off guard, does he learn that Britt is alive? If so, he is going to have to break this news to Lulu. Lulu is surprised when Nina tries to encourage her to allow Charlotte to see Valentine. Lulu was adamantly against it, but then Carly seemed to be on Jack's side. That didn't sway Lulu at all. But will Nina? Nina has a lot less influence over Lulu than Carly does, but she is a fierce advocate for Charlotte. Perhaps Nina will get Lulu to see that Charlotte's well-being depends on her knowing that her father is okay. After his chat with Elizabeth, Lucas wants answers from his sister. Did she really threaten to kill Drew? And if so, did she actually go through with it? Carly admits what she said, but denies shooting Drew. Lucas believes her because he can't picture his sister shooting anyone, but he also knows the lengths she will go for one of her kids. Will Carly end up on the suspect list? Will Drew try to put her there since his thirst for lies and revenge is stronger than ever? Not many are rooting for Willow and Drew Kane to reunite on General Hospital. However, many were hoping that Drew's portrayer, Cameron Matheson, had made a new bestie in real life. Alas, that relationship was not meant to be. As followers of the General Hospital actor recall, the fan favorite welcomed a new dog, Hunter, into his life, a year or so after the loss of his beloved Red. Supporters of Matheson were thrilled to see that he'd opened his heart to another four-legged friend, and were all but convinced that the relationship was going to last. Alas, just like dynamics on soaps, Matheson and Hunter weren't meant to go the distance. After weeks of fostering, our sweet boy Hunter has finally found his forever home, and it couldn't be more perfect, the General Hospital performer shared on Instagram. An amazing couple, kids to play with, a yard to run in, and even other dogs to keep him company, the actor continued about Hunter's new home. The good news is that this appears to be an arrangement where Matheson receives communications from Hunter's new family. Every photo and video we've seen since shows him absolutely beaming with happiness, Matheson assures his followers. Matheson was fully aware that his supporters wanted Hunter to become a permanent member of his home, but the actor had to take a step back and think about what was best for the pooch. I know many people were hoping for a foster fail, Matheson shared, and so was I, but I think if we really consider what's best for him, it's a more stable household with more space and certainly some outdoor space for him. Friends of the actor and General Hospital co-stars supported Matheson's decision to make the best choice for Hunter. Love conquers all. Good job, my friend, wrote Mary Margaret Humes. Adds Finola Hughes. Love this. Tanisha Harper added, Yay! Awesome, Cam. Thanks for sharing Hunter's journey, added J. Eddie Peck. The General Hospital star knows that saying goodbye isn't always easy, but knowing that Hunter has a good home has brought him great solace. Hunter's journey wasn't always easy, the actor adds, but seeing him loved, safe, and thriving makes it all worth it. He's exactly where he was meant to be, home. General Hospital spoilers for Thursday, September 11th, reveal that Drew Kane will warn that Michael Corinthos' arrest is coming, while Jason Morgan seeks Britt Westbourne's secret. Since Jack Brennan made an offer Nina Reeves couldn't refuse, she'll do what he asked of her. Nina will pay Lulu Spencer a visit and try to persuade her when it comes to letting Charlotte Cassadine see Valentine Cassadine at Steinmauer. Lulu wouldn't normally take advice from Nina, but she may actually listen this time around. Nina will suggest Lulu should take control of the situation and use it to her advantage, so the wheels will start turning for Lulu on how she can do that. At GH, Drew will warn Willow Tate and Carly Spencer that if Michael hasn't been arrested yet, he will be. Drew will be adamant that Michael is going down for his shooting, even if there's no proof yet. As for Dante Falconeri, he'll push for honesty from his brother. Dante will demand to know if Michael was really with Jacinda Bracken the night Drew was shot. Michael was indeed with Jacinda briefly at the bar, but he had plenty of time to drive over to Drew's place afterward. However, Michael may stick to his story that he made no other stops on his way home and hope he can stay out of trouble. On the plane home, Jason will fish for more information from Britt. Since Jason is still missing a lot of puzzle pieces, he'll urge Britt to open up to him. Britt will remain cagey, but Jason will hold out hope that she might spill more. Jason will assure Britt that she doesn't have to hide whatever she's hiding, at least not from him. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Britt will divulge any other updates before they make it back to Port Charles. Britt's return news will make waves right off the bat, and may be the reason why Dante is thrown for a loop in Thursday's show. Perhaps Dante will catch a glimpse of Britt once she gets off the plane and struggle to believe his eyes. Next, Lucas Jones will put Carly through a grilling session since Elizabeth Baldwin overheard her threatening to kill Drew. Although Lucas tried to brush it off, he may quiz Carly in private and wonder if she actually pulled the trigger. Of course, Brennan has already given Carly an alibi. Carly may point that out and assure Lucas that she wouldn't have gone that far against Drew anyway. General Hospital spoilers say Carly's main concern will be for Michael, since Drew's determined to put him behind bars. Hospital spoilers reveal that we've got a fall preview update to share. So let's discuss 6 huge turning points in Port Charles. Several storylines will head in new directions and leave multiple PC residents scrambling to get out of tight spots. 1. Rick's snooping team leads to trouble. For starters, a team of Rick Lansing snoopers will cause problems for Ava Jerome, Christina Corinthos Davis, and Alexis Davis. Despite the digital detox story and the fake messages that were sent, there are going to be growing concerns about Rick's disappearance. Elizabeth Baldwin, T., Molly Lansing Davis, Willow Tate, and perhaps another surprise key player could lead the charge when it comes to digging for answers. 2. Tragedy forces Brooklyn and Lois together. Next, let's address the Quartermaine family tragedy that's brewing. Monica Quartermaine's demise will bring some difficulties, but something good could come out of it if this brings Brooklyn Quartermaine and Lois Cerullo together. Lois will indeed return and support Brooklyn if her daughter's willing to accept it. This could give Lois a chance to make amends with Brooklyn, and not a moment too soon, since Erica Slezak's mystery character will come on the scene and kick off more mayhem. 3. Michael holds power over Willow. As for Michael Corinthos, he'll hold great power over Willow and have to decide how he's going to use it. Michael may end up with incriminating information when it comes to Willow and her potential role in Drew Kane's demise. On the other hand, Michael's power could be about the baby stalker situation if he can ultimately prove that Willow was the one messing with Daisy Corinthos and Sasha Gilmore Corbin. Either way, Michael could use his leverage as a last resort down the road, so stay tuned for updates on any desperate strategies in his future. 4. Anna lands in Faison-related danger. As for Anna Devane, she'll end up in grave danger while investigating the return of Britt Westbourne and Nathan West. GH spoilers say Anna will follow a trail related to Cesar Faison and take some life-threatening risks as a result, so don't miss the bad news that's brewing. 5. Molly's imagination runs wild. Despite Molly's attempt to push Cody Bell away, she won't be able to shove down her thoughts and burning desires. Molly's imagination will run wild, so fans should see more of her book fantasy scenes and that Cody-inspired cowboy character. Could the happy ending of Molly's romance novel be what convinces her to finally take the leap with Cody in real life too? 6. Laura's election drama and familiar ally. Over with Laura Collins. She'll achieve some wins leading up to Election Day, but she'll eventually brace for a tough defeat and disastrous consequences. Can a family ally help Laura before it's too late? General Hospital spoilers say there will be some great action happening this fall on the ABC soap, so stay tuned. General Hospital spoilers for the week of September 15th and 19 reveal that Jason Morgan will deal with a horrible dilemma while Giovanni Gio Palmieri and Emma Scorpio Drake share a kiss. Rocco Falconeri will also get a chance to see Britt Westbourne, so let's discuss what's ahead on the ABC soap. For starters, Molly Lansing Davis will struggle with her feelings for Cody Bell despite her attempt to push him away. As Molly continues writing her romance novel, her Cody-inspired character will remind her of what she's missing. As for Gio and Emma, they're on the verge of sharing their first kiss. Emma and Gio will take a bold step out of the friend zone, so let's hope this romantic turning point goes well for them. Over with Portia Robinson, she'll try to stand by her marriage to Curtis Ashford, at least until the latest Drew Kane storm has passed. However, there'll inevitably be more temptation coming up thanks to Isaiah Gannon and the connection he's found with Portia. Across town, Harrison Chase's investigation will bring some tension in his own relationship. Chase's defense of Willow Tate and lingering questions about Michael Corinthos may drive Brooklyn Quartermain up the wall. Michael is counting on Jacinda to be his alibi, but there'll be more complications along the way. Drew wants revenge on Michael and will make some messes for him as a result. On another note, Jocelyn Jacks and S. Vaughn won't be able to keep their hands to themselves following their dangerous mission. Passion seems poised to erupt all over again, so Vaughn and Jocelyn will have to hide their romance from Jack Brennan since he'd disapprove. Speaking of Brennan, it looks like he'll do whatever it takes to lock in the Charlotte Cassadine visit that Valentine Cassadine is demanding. Lulu Spencer has been refusing to allow it so far, but that could change in the not-too-distant future. Of course, Charlotte will likely make a few demands of her own when it comes time to see Valentine at Steinmauer. Next, GH spoilers say Jason will face a horrible dilemma, since Jocelyn won't want him to expose her WSB job. Despite Jocelyn's plea for Jason's silence, can he really keep something this huge from Carly Spencer? And if he does, how long will he be able to stick with the secret? Anna Devane will do some investigating into Britt's return, along with Nathan West's, since he'll be back in the picture soon too. In the meantime, Rocco will have an opportunity to talk to Britt and question the woman who gave birth to him, even if the circumstances were shady and quite traumatic for Rocco's parents. General Hospital spoilers say Lulu and Dante Falconeri won't approve of Rocco's growing Britt obsession, so stay tuned for updates on how they'll react to all this news. General Hospital spoilers for Sept 15, 2025. See Drew Kane Quartermain is accusation to his would-be killer, and Elizabeth Weber stunning the PCPD, as we always do on Early Edition Day. First, we're going to talk about what's coming the rest of this week, then dive into what's coming next week. On Wednesday, September 10th, Nina Reeves is back in town, and Portia Robinson advised her to turn around and leave, but she's not. She's taking escort jobs and may circle around and try her luck with Nina again. Or maybe this is somebody else talking to her. Trina Robinson tells Emma Scorpio Drake something personal. I wonder if Trina is going to admit to Emma that she and Kai Taylor were at Drew's house when he was shot. Emma is no fan of Drew's and probably wouldn't reveal anything. She does illegal stuff too. Later on, Kai tells Trina they can use this as a way to protect them. I wonder if it is the blackmail stuff against Portia that he took from the safe. Dante Falconeri is in Anna Devane's office looking at Tracy Quartermain's mugshot as they're talking about shooting suspects. Of course, she loathes Drew and really hates him. But she also was the one that called 911. Tracy was also at the house, and she's pretty clever. Maybe she shot him and had second thoughts. I don't think she did, but I think the PCPD has to entertain any and all theories. Anna may also think Tracy is covering for someone like Michael Corinthos. Elizabeth Weber tells Lucas Jones that if the police ask her, she will not have a choice but to tell the truth. I'm assuming that's because Liz overheard Carly Corinthos Spencer threatening to kill Drew. Willow Tate is with Harrison Chase, who is asking Willow if she's still planning on getting back together with Drew. I wonder if Willow is going to tell Chase stuff to make Michael look guilty now that Drew is awake. I imagine he's going to be dropping bombshells about the whole judge bribery thing. Dante and Anna question a suspect on Wednesday. We have seen that Dante was looking for Michael, trying to get a hold of him at the Port Charles Grill, while Michael was trying to talk to Jacinda about his alibi. Carly has advice for Lulu Spencer, who asks, "Carly, are you suggesting that I allow this to happen?" I wonder if they are talking about letting Valentine Cassadine see Charlotte Cassadine. Jackham Brennan may even have talked to Carly about it, trying to get her to work on Lulu because he really needs Valentine to cooperate on General Hospital. Dr. Isaiah Gannon tells Portia that if she wants to keep this just between them, he will respect her decision about keeping their fling secret rather than some new romance. But Isaiah really likes her. Drew tells someone that they shot him and he knows it. It could be Curtis Ashford because he has dropped by to see Drew, but it may be someone else he accuses. On Thursday, September 11th, Dante is in for a big shock. Maybe he finds out Britt Westbourne is alive, or maybe that Lulu is going to let Charlotte see Valentine because he was helping raise Charlotte. I think he has a stake in this. It could be about Drew and the bribery allegations against Sonny Corinthos or Michael with the judge. Again, with Drew awake, no telling what's going to come out of his mouth. Jason Morgan, Steve Burton gets stonewalled by someone. I wonder if Britt doesn't want to return to Port Charles because without her Huntington's meds, she is back to where she was before, not wanting her family to see her dying. Lucas heads over on Thursday and questions Carly. Lucas may ask Carly if she really threatened to kill Drew. And Lucas may actually ask Carly if she followed through and shot Drew. Nina has some things to say to Lulu. Nina may be talking to Lulu about her interview about Drew's shooting, or she may be offering some advice to Lulu about whether or not to let Charlotte see Valentine. A shocking return turns Port Charles upside down. This could be Britt, or it could be Valentine in the flesh, not on video, since he's been making demands about seeing his daughter. On Friday, September 12th, Elizabeth warns Lucas, telling him to be cautious. Maybe it's about him prodding Carly, or speaking up and saying, maybe Sonny shot Drew, because we know Lucas has a very low opinion of Sonny right now. Dante and Lulu deliver big news to somebody. They may be telling Charlotte that her dad Valentine wants to speak with her. Or, if they found out that Britt's alive, they may be telling Rocco Falseroni. Brennan wants answers, possibly from Colette Moreau, but maybe from Jocelyn Jacks and Vaughn, who should be back from their mission, and Anna has to defend herself. I'm wondering if Drew has raised up this judge bribery thing to the PCPD. And D.A. Turner may be wondering why Anna is not looking closely at Sonny as a shooting suspect. Speaking of the local mob boss, he tells somebody about his plan. Maybe he's talking to Michael or Jason. The week of September 15th through the 19th, we have Vaughn and Jocelyn back from their mission at the Five Poppies. They slept together. They were almost killed together. It was a lot of life and death stuff which can really bond a couple. But was that intimacy in Croatia just a one-off, and they don't want to compromise their status as agents? Or maybe they will explore a full-blown real romance. Sonny kicks his plan into high gear. Obviously, he wants to protect himself and Michael in this Drew investigation, and still wants to support Michael in keeping the kids away from Willow. Colette is in deep doo-doo with the WSB, even though Vaughn and Jocelyn survived. Colette almost got them killed playing double agent games. I wonder if she is going to be sent to Steinmauer soon, unless the secret boss intervenes and somehow gets her out of this mess. Britt is struggling with what to do next. She's free of Pascal and the mystery boss, at least for now. But without the medicine that they were keeping her in that the secret boss was providing, her health is going to go downhill. I suspect this mystery boss is going to follow her wherever she goes, including back to Port Charles, because she knows their secrets. I'm guessing the WSB is going to want to talk to Britt. Isaiah is completely smitten with Portia. He does want more. I think he wants a whole relationship. But is she ready to instantly rebound when her marriage just imploded? Although it has been on a downhill slide for quite a while. We are on the countdown to Ryan Pavy's return as Nathan West. That is confirmed. I wonder, is he somehow the mystery boss or a hostage of the mystery boss, and part of the leverage that's keeping Britt in line? Molly Lansing Davis warms up to Cody Bell next week. Gio Palmieri and Emma have romance sparking. Valentine gets to see Charlotte soon. She misses her papa. Kai and Trina are desperate to cover their tracks, as is the person who shot Drew. General Hospital spoilers for Thursday, September 11th reveal that Drew Kane will warn that Michael Corinthos' arrest is coming, while Jason Morgan seeks Britt Westbourne's secret. Since Jack Brennan made an offer Nina Reeves couldn't refuse, she'll do what he asked of her. Nina will pay Lulu Spencer a visit and try to persuade her when it comes to letting Charlotte Cassadine see Valentine Cassadine at Steinmauer. Lulu wouldn't normally take advice from Nina, but she may actually listen this time around. Nina will suggest Lulu should take control of the situation and use it to her advantage, so the wheels will start turning for Lulu on how she can do that. At GH, Drew will warn Willow Tate and Carly Spencer that if Michael hasn't been arrested yet, he will be. Drew will be adamant that Michael is going down for his shooting, even if there's no proof yet. As for Dante Falconeri, he'll push for honesty from his brother. Dante will demand to know if Michael was really with Jacinda Bracken the night Drew was shot. Michael was indeed with Jacinda briefly at the bar, but he had plenty of time to drive over to Drew's place afterward. However, Michael may stick to his story that he made no other stops on his way home and hope he can stay out of trouble. On the plane home, Jason will fish for more information from Britt. Since Jason is still missing a lot of puzzle pieces, he'll urge Britt to open up to him. Britt will remain cagey, but Jason will hold out hope that she might spill more. Jason will assure Britt that she doesn't have to hide whatever she's hiding, at least not from him. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Britt will divulge any other updates before they make it back to Port Charles. Britt's return news will make waves right off the bat, and may be the reason why Dante is thrown for a loop in Thursday's show. General Hospital spoilers are in for Thursday, September 11th, 2025. Fans can expect the next episode to feature a shocking return to Port Charles. Jason Morgan gets stonewalled. Plus, Lucas Jones interrogates Carly Spencer. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the next episode of the ABC soap opera. Let's start off with the shocking return to Port Charles. This is definitely Britt Westbourne, according to the preview clip for tomorrow's episode. The brunette was just rescued by Jason, but she's still keeping pretty quiet about what she's been doing all this time. Even though they have a history, Britt has clearly been through a lot. I almost sense some post-traumatic stress disorder in the guarded way she reacts to Jason sometimes. It's almost like she's apprehensive or scared at times, but then acts normal other times. In any case, that will be a bombshell for the people of Port Charles. Rocco Falconeri will likely want to get to know Britt. However, what will Dante Falconeri and Lulu Spencer say about the situation? Allowing Rocco and Liesl Obrecht to bond is one thing, but for them to allow Britt? I'm not so sure that will happen. Over at the hospital, everyone is wondering who shot Drew Kane. As the police investigate, Lucas corners Carly. The surgeon demands to know if she is responsible. After all, she did publicly threaten Drew, but so did a lot of people. Of course, Jack Brennan told Carly it was a good thing they were together at the time of Drew's shooting. General Hospital spoilers for Thursday, September 11th, reveal that Lulu will make a discovery. This will have to do with Nina Reeves. Since Jack Brennan just gave Nina a proposition, and Lulu recently exchanged words with the WSB boss, how could this story go? The preview clip shows Nina telling Lulu to use it to her advantage. The journalist's eyebrows do arch up, so it sounds like she's already getting an idea. Fans will also see Jason get stonewalled. This is by Britt on the airplane back home. The right-hand man assures her that whatever she's hiding, she can confide in him. However, Britt doesn't look too sure about that. In a poignant intersection of art and life, the General Hospital community is rallying around one of its own. Cameron Matheson, beloved for his portrayal of the complex Drew Kane, recently shared the sobering news that his ongoing battle with kidney cancer has intensified, necessitating a temporary departure from the show to focus on his health. The announcement has left fans deeply concerned, not only for the actor they admire, but also for the future of the character he has so brilliantly brought to life. Matheson has been candid with his followers about his health journey for years, earning widespread admiration for his unwavering positivity in the face of adversity. This recent turn, however, requires him to step away from the demanding schedule of daytime television for continuous treatment. The news has been met with a massive outpouring of love and support from fans and colleagues alike, all hoping for his speedy and full recovery. This real-world struggle has cast an emotional shadow over his character's recent storyline, which eerily mirrored a life-or-death crisis. Viewers watched with bated breath as Drew Cain's journey took a dark turn, culminating in a violent attack that left him clinging to life. The plot had many, including Matheson himself, fearing that Drew was being written off the show for good, a common fate for soap characters who accumulate too many enemies. In a dramatic twist, the General Hospital writers chose to save Drew, but the man who emerged from the ordeal is not the same. His brush with death didn't lead to redemption. Instead, it fueled a desire for revenge. Now more manipulative and ruthless than ever, Drew has become a compelling anti-hero, targeting his rival Michael Corinthos with calculated precision. This transformation has electrified his storyline, making him a central and unpredictable force in Port Charles. His survival wasn't an end, but the beginning of a darker, more high-stakes chapter. As Cameron Matheson bravely focuses on his recovery, the General Hospital family waits with hope. The resilience he shows in his personal life is reflected in the character he plays on screen, a survivor against all odds. While Drew Cain's quest for vengeance is just beginning, fans are united in their wish to see the talented actor who portrays him win his own crucial fight and return to the screen, healthy and strong. Jason Morgan has once again proven himself the ultimate hero, pulling off a daring rescue that brings Britt Westbourne back home after her harrowing captivity at the shadowy Five Poppies resort. Months of manipulation, forced servitude, and life-saving treatments dangled like chains left Britt broken but alive, and her return sends shockwaves rippling through the lives of everyone she once left behind. As Jason's plane touches down in Port Charles, emotions run high. None more so than for Rocco Falconeri, who has recently uncovered the complicated truth about his birth. Learning that Britt once carried him, through the theft of Dante and Lulu's embryo, has ignited a painful curiosity in the boy. Now, Rocco is eager to meet the woman who played such a pivotal role in his beginnings. For Dante and Lulu, this reunion is a nightmare come true. They understand their son's longing to connect with Britt, but fear letting him near the woman who once caused them so much grief. Worse still, Rocco's anger over their secrecy, sparked when he found his birth certificate listing Britt's name, has left deep cracks in the Falconeri family. With Britt now physically back in town, those cracks threaten to widen into an unbridgeable rift. Perhaps the most heart-wrenching moment of all comes when Liesl Obrecht lays eyes on her daughter. After mourning Britt's supposed death at the hands of the Hook, and carrying the crushing guilt of failing to protect her, Liesl will be overcome with joy and fury. Joy that Britt survived. Fury that she was allowed to believe otherwise. But Liesl's protective instincts flare immediately when Britt begins to recount the horrors of her captivity, enslavement to a mysterious boss who controlled her every move, keeping her illness in check only in exchange for her compliance. Liesl quickly realizes her daughter's ordeal is far from over. Then comes the bombshell no one saw coming. Britt confides in her mother about a secret she has guarded with her life, the existence of a child she shares with Jason Morgan. The revelation will rock Port Charles to its foundation. Jason, still reeling from raising Danny alone after Sam's death, now learns he has another child, one still held hostage by the same faceless enemy who enslaved Britt. What began as a rescue mission now becomes a desperate fight to save an innocent girl from the clutches of a dangerous network. For Jason, this changes everything. He's no longer just grappling with Britt's return. He's a father in crisis, willing to move heaven and earth to rescue the daughter he never knew existed. Though Britt is back in Port Charles, the shadow of her captor looms larger than ever. Their enemy still holds Jason and Britt's child, creating a ticking time bomb of danger and urgency. Every move Jason makes from here on out could pit him against both the law and the underworld, setting the stage for one of the most explosive showdowns in General Hospital history. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you!